Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a beautiful princess named Snow White. She was known throughout the kingdom for her kindness and her enchanting voice. But unfortunately, she had a wicked stepmother, the evil queen, who was the absolute ruler of the land. The queen was obsessed with maintaining her beauty and would use magic to enhance it. One day, while looking into her magic mirror, also known as the mirror on the wall, she asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And the mirror replied, "My queen, you are indeed the fairest of them all." But then the queen noticed that Snow White had blossomed into a stunning young woman and realized that soon she might lose her title as the This made the queen furious and filled with jealousy. She went to Snow White and said, "My dear, I want you to go into the forest and pick some flowers for me." As Snow White entered the forest, the queen used magic to transform herself into an old peddler woman. She approached Snow White and said, "Oh, kind princess, please help me carry my heavy basket." Snow White, being the helpful princess that she was, agreed to carry the basket. But as soon as she did, the peddler woman used magic to transform into a ferocious wildcat and tried to claw Snow White's eyes out. Terrified, Snow White dropped the basket and ran as fast as she could. The queen, seeing that Snow White had escaped, took the basket and went back to the castle. There, she feasted on some delicious apples, which were actually enchanted. The queen had used magic to make them taste like the most delicious food in the world. However, she had also put a curse on them so that anyone who ate them would fall into a deep sleep for 100 years. Later that night, Snow White stumbled upon a small cottage in the forest. As she peeked inside, she saw 7 tiny beds and 7 tiny chairs. Suddenly, 7 little men appeared. They were called the Seven Dwarfs, and they were very friendly. They welcomed Snow White into their cottage and told her that she could stay there as long as she liked. Snow White gladly accepted their offer. That evening, after the dwarfs had gone to the mine, Snow White started cleaning the house. As she worked, she sang a beautiful song. Her voice echoed throughout the forest, and the sound reached the ears of a handsome prince who was hunting in the area. Intrigued by the enchanting voice, the prince followed the sound and found Snow White singing by the window. Mesmerized by her beauty and voice, the prince introduced himself to her. And although Snow White was initially hesitant, she eventually warmed up to him. They sang and danced together, and the prince was completely smitten with her. Meanwhile, back at the evil queen's castle, the mirror on the wall had revealed to her that the prince was in love with Snow White. Enraged, the queen went to her magic cauldron and started brewing a potion. She planned to make herself invisible and sneak into Snow White's cottage to find out how she had become so beautiful. As the potion began to boil, the queen transformed into a tiny little mouse and scurried off to the cottage. When the dwarfs came home that evening, they found Snow White and the prince sleeping peacefully in the same bed. Startled, they woke them up and demanded an explanation. Snow White told them everything, and the dwarfs, being good friends, decided to help her. They built her a beautiful tower in the middle of the forest, and every day she would sing on her balcony, enchanting everyone who heard her voice. The prince, who had been searching for Snow White, heard her singing and rushed to her side. He was overjoyed to see her safe and sound. Together, they returned to the prince's castle where they were married in a beautiful ceremony. The prince's kingdom was known for its beauty and power, and together with Snow White, they ruled it wisely and fairly. The evil queen, who had been watching them from afar, was consumed with jealousy and hatred. She knew that Snow White had won the prince's heart and was determined to do something about it. And so our story ends? Or does it? What do you think the evil queen will do next? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this classic fairy tale, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more enchanting stories. Thank you for watching.